Do not buy the Toyota BZ4X.
For those of you who never heard of Toyota's sexy new electric vehicle, the BZ4X, and are wondering, why the hell is this guy yelling at me not to buy it? The answer is simple, because Toyota is incorrect in the way that it advertises the car's terrible battery, which not only deteriorates at an alarming rate, but also constantly drains over 20% faster than it should. Sometimes over 200% faster than it should. What does this mean? For starters, Toyota claims that the BZ4X Limited has an estimated range of up to 242 miles. And when I first got the car, the dashboard claimed that the estimated range at 100% charge was 250 miles with the AC off and 229 miles with the AC on, meaning that turning on the AC automatically takes away 8 to 10% of the car's total estimated range. However, a week later, the car's total estimated range at 100% charge dropped all the way down to 188 miles with the AC on. That's a drop off of 41 miles, or 17.9% of the car's total range in 1 week. It currently sits at 172 miles at 100% charge with the AC on, which is insane, but it gets worse. Now I know what you're thinking. Dario, it sucks that the battery is deteriorating so fast, but I bet that the car charges faster now, right? Wrong. It's actually gotten worse. Toyota claims that it takes the car 30 minutes to go from low battery light, which is 9%, up to 80% when using a level 3 charger, aka a supercharger. However, just the other day, it took me 1 hour and 17 seconds to go from 19% to 80%, which is more than double the amount of time that Toyota advertises. And even at 80%, the car only gives you 141 miles of range. To put that into context, based on what Kelley Blue Book, Motor Trend, Tesla, and several Uber drivers I've spoken to say, using a supercharger on a Tesla for 15 minutes gives the car up to 200 miles of range. That's 200 miles in 15 minutes for a Tesla, under 141 miles in an hour for a Toyota. As you can clearly see, Toyota's decades behind in the EV arena. If you added up all the time I've spent in level 3 charging stations for the last few months, which I did, and averaged it out, it comes out to about 1 hour and 20 minutes every single day. My commute, and probably my life in general, has gotten considerably worse since I got the Toyota BZ4X. But wait, there's more. Let's get back to the battery consistently draining over 20% faster than it should. Here's an example of what that means. The other day, I started my commute with 60 miles of estimated range, and after driving for 38.6 miles, the estimated range dropped all the way down to 6 miles. So, in 38.6 actual driven miles, the range dropped 54 miles. That means that the battery burned off 15.4 miles more than it should have, an underperformance of 39.9%. I have 100 examples like this, where the underperformance ranges anywhere from 5% to 70% to over 200%, which makes it impossible to plan your commute. And if you were to add up all those extra unused miles, which I did, you'd find out that after driving 19,231 miles, the car burned off 21,971 miles. That's 2,740 unused miles, which is bad enough already. However, when you factor in the battery's overall deterioration, you'll find that the car has actually underperformed by 9,094 miles, meaning that after driving 19,231 real miles, the car burned off the charge for 28,325 estimated miles. That's an underperformance of 47.28%, which means that in under a year of use, the car's real range has on average been somewhere between 120 to 140 miles at full charge. And there's no reason to believe those numbers won't continue to plummet. The worst part for Toyota in all of this is that I took all the data I collected to them, and after they performed extensive battery tests that proved all the failures I'd been complaining about incessantly, their response was, there's nothing wrong with the car, which tells you that all of this is not a bug, it's a feature. And it happened to me quickly because my commute put the car to the test, which it failed. But it'll likely happen to everybody else who gets the car as well, which is probably why they're giving people such good deals on leases. There's definitely an F word for that kind of behavior, and maybe you should talk to a lawyer about it. And speaking of F words, do not buy from Mazda Toyota Pacific Beach. They're a bunch of crooks. They essentially stole my beautiful Mazda 3 and held it for ransom. To be less dramatic, I traded in my old Mazda 3, which was still in great condition and valued at $9,000, in for the new Toyota BZ4X. However, after quickly realizing that the car did not perform as advertised, and after Toyota's own tests proved that the car was garbage, and after annoying a hell of a lot of people, I got a meeting with the VP of the company, Cole Lowenfield, who also happens to run the Mazda 4 that's across the street. After speaking with Cole, he told me that, and I'm quoting here, "They would not keep me trapped in a contract I don't want because that's not the way he runs his business." He also told me that Toyota had agreed to drop the lease and that they would do so without charging me any tax penalties, which sounded great, except it wasn't. You see, to suckers like you or me, canceling a lease without penalty means I get my old car, which works properly, back, you get your new car, which doesn't work properly, back, the loan is nullified, and everybody walks away, if not happy, then at least satisfied. Well, that's not what it means to Mossy Toyota of Pacific Beach. To them, canceling the lease without penalty meant that I would give them the crappy BZ4X Limited back, which they would count as a trade-in to nullify the loan. Then I would have to pay them an additional $9,000, the original trade value of my Mazda 3, plus an additional $3,355 for whatever improvements they had done to the car to get it ready for resale, plus all applicable taxes if I wanted to get it back. So, I walked into their dealership fully owning a perfectly good Mazda 3, and less than 2 weeks later, they expected me to pay them over $12,000 to get the exact same car back. Then they had the nerve of pretending they were doing me a favor. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the way Cole Lowenfield runs his businesses. If that's not highway robbery, I don't know what is. And if you want to do business with this type of people, best of luck to you. To recap, Toyota created an electric vehicle with a battery that deteriorated from 229 miles down to 175 miles of total estimated range in less than a year. On top of that, the battery constantly drains over 20% faster than it should, and on top of that, it's ridiculously slow to charge, taking at least twice the amount of time they advertise to charge. Toyota should be embarrassed. Not just for having the gall of claiming that this car would be a challenger to the throne of best electric vehicle in the market, but for having released a vehicle this terrible to the market to begin with. They're at least 2 generations behind everybody else in the EV game, and this will forever tarnish the legacy of quality their brand was known for. At least in my book. So, in case it wasn't clear yet,
Do not buy the Toyota BZ4X.